Well, good evening, everyone. For those of you that don't know, I'm Burke Tower, Mayor of the City of Oshkosh. On behalf of the Oshkosh Common Council, City Manager Mark Roloff, Assistant City Manager John Fitzpatrick, and the city staff, I want to welcome you to the 2015 State of the City program and also the City Exhibit Expo here. We very much appreciate the fact that you've come out tonight, taken time out of your schedules to come with us because it shows you have an interest in learning more about the City of Oshkosh, what we're working on, and how we can continue to work together to do some great things in the City of Oshkosh. The State of the City is just not an event to showcase our municipal activities, projects, and future goals. It's also an opportunity for everyone to come together and celebrate our collective efforts at the local level. We aren't just celebrating our accomplishments, however, over the past year. We're also highlighting where we hope to go in the coming year. And we recognize that all of you, each one of you, play an important role in this process as citizens, as community leaders, as city employees, as city staff, as government officials, and elected officials. Without you being here, without your participation, without your support, there would be no program here. So it means a great deal that you chose to come out tonight, to be involved, and to take part. I think we have an interesting evening planned for you here tonight. We'll start off, as soon as I get off the stage here, with the State of the City address. Then following that presentation, we're going to honor several individuals with our Citizen Service Awards for their ongoing efforts in serving on our various boards and commissions throughout the city. Next thing we'll do tonight is we're going to take some time to recognize some wonderful accomplishments in our neighborhoods that people have been working together on. And then we'll also recognize a couple of organizations with our Community Partner Awards for the work people have done within these organizations that have had a significant impact on the City of Oshkosh. And of course, as you can see around the room, all the way around the room here, we also have our City Exhibit Expo. This expo is a great opportunity to meet with our employees, to learn about what's going on in the city departments, and talk to some of our city employees who make things happen about their projects, activities, and their initiatives. I want to stress again that for our city to work effectively, we need active citizen participation. Please consider serving on a board or a commission, and don't hesitate to talk to city staff, council members, or current board and commission members about how you can get involved. Again, I want to thank you again for being here for tonight's event. And now I want to introduce the State of the City address. You know, I was watching the Wisconsin game last night, and after the game, Zach Showalter was on talking about his role in last night's game. How many of you watched the game last night? Lots of people. If you saw him afterwards, he had a couple of important baskets there in the second half, and explaining it to the people he was talking with, he says, it's important for those of us on the bench to show that we really add value to what's going on the team. So they're particularly important. And he was stressing how important board strength is. When the City of Oshkosh, we have strength on the bench. And tonight, unfortunately, our city manager, Mark Roloff, could not be here. He came down with the flu last Friday. It got worse as the weekend went on, and he virtually has no voice left, so he's at home on the couch, and he'll eventually get to watch the program at some time in the future. But we do have bench strength, just like the Badgers. And so to deliver the State of the City address tonight is Mr. John Fitzpatrick, that I'm going to ask to start making his way up here. A couple of words about John. I've had an opportunity to work with John during the 11 years that I've served on the council. He's obviously served with Mark for the whole time that Mark's been here. He serves as the Assistant City Manager and also Director of Administrative Services for the city. He took on a very important role a few years ago when he became the Interim City Manager and did some great things in that role and kept things moving through a difficult transition period for us. So without further ado, I want to introduce Mr. John Fitzpatrick to deliver the State of the City address. John?
Thanks, Mayor Tower. You know, it's ironic that he mentioned the Wisconsin basketball team because One of my previous positions that I had, I worked at UW-Platteville, and I had an opportunity to work with Bo Ryan, and Zach Showalter's dad was a player there in Platteville. So I think Bo maybe had some sort of a special in to recruiting Zach when he came to Wisconsin. So, but anyway, thank you again for the warm welcome. And on behalf of City Manager Roloff, I'm pleased to be here to provide the State of the City address on his behalf. I'm honored, and I also want to thank the City Council, all the other elected officials that we have in the audience, and all the rest of the citizens for coming. Tonight's theme is based on the idea that everyone's contribution makes a difference in our community. We will use our strategic plan as a way to bring our efforts together, but really the plan itself is only a representation of the good work that has been done in the past, that is currently going on in the present, and that will go on in the future here in Oshkosh. So let's take a look at the new strategic plan, and a lot of work has gone into the development of this plan. And we need to thank the council for that and their leadership and the staff for all of their work on it. However, the strategic plans don't just magically appear. They're based on the foundations of success. And numerous initiatives are woven into this strategic plan. They have been initiatives in the past, and they are initiatives now, and they will be initiatives in the future. The foundation of what we can accomplish has come from the people who laid the groundwork, and you will see that tonight. So without further ado, let's look at an initiative that has a rich history and has really come to light this year, the Oshkosh Riverfront.
Improvement to the city, to the riverfront, really started before I did. You know, Mrs. Kimball cleared up the coal piles and the industrial things along the river in the early 1970s.
Historically, it was an industrial area and a center of commerce. Things have changed over time where businesses are less dependent on water. They don't need that as a resource. So many of those areas have fallen into disrepair.
We concentrated on where it was the most visible, the river crossings and the bridges. You can see the trend is for cities to concentrate on river walks and to show off their river, where really 40 years ago that was kind of an eyesore in Oshkosh.
At one time it was all the manufacturing, the lumber mills and everything else like that, but those things have come and gone, and now we have this kind of blank canvas on the riverfront.
I think we have to be strategic in what we really want, and I think the Riverfront Visioning Study was the first step in the right direction.
Like the convention center, the park downtown, it's all connected, and I think to me the river walk is just an extension of the things that are happening downtown.
It's been really rewarding to see the plans that we thought about back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, to see them come to fruition. It's really nice to see the progress that's been made along our river.
I think it's all about creating a great place. And once you have a great place, a lot of momentum is going to be built. It's going to serve the residents, it's going to serve those who travel to the area, and really help enhance everything and anything that is nearby it.
We put meat on the bones of the council goals, we and other city boards and commissions. We have a very important role of providing details, providing structure, what rules might we need, what will the citizens of Oshkosh want? You know, we put the public face on what we think Oshkosh will like and want us to do.
They add differing perspectives than staff may have on a particular issue. That's why it's so critical to have a diverse set of people on your boards and commissions, because they all add these different experiences, background, expertise they bring into the process, and add this creative tension to the process where I think we get really good results.
So it's very enlightening and I think empowering with the visioning process, to have people come in and just kind of throw their ideas out, really without any limitations.
To see those initiatives not only come to fruition, but then exceed our expectations, that's probably been the best part.
Well, you think, wow, this was worth it. Our time and our effort and our planning made sense.
I've seen it grow out of the sawdust that was left there into what it is now. We've done a lot, we can do more, and we will continue to do more.
Well, look at our transformation. That's really what we're talking about. Our transformation collectively. And as the video indicated, the trend is for cities to focus on the riverfront. And this transition didn't happen overnight. It took patience, and we still have a ways to go in regard to this initiative. This year, we plan to complete the trail from the Boatworks property to the Geldwin-Morgan district. I think folks are familiar with the buildings that used to be in place there for many years, and also the area east of Oregon Street. If you'd like more details, please stop by our community development table, and Darren and his staff would be happy to provide more information. So, as you'll see in our next clip, the past also plays a role in our present and future plans. Let's take a look at the strategic planning component, infrastructure.
Some people don't realize is probably there was a period of 30 to 40 years where the city did not replace a street in the city of Oshkosh. We did have a fairly major flooding event in Oshkosh that I think probably made people realize why we needed the stormwater utility and why we had to address stormwater runoff in the city of Oshkosh.
The utility was formed in the fall of 2003. And then, of course, the big storm of 2004 happened, and that's when the utility really started getting some traction for getting projects and studies underway.
And so the flooding was really the first impetus to address some of the worst flooding problems. And so the second goal of any stormwater utility is to reduce the pollutant load going to the lake.
You just don't go out and dig a hole and wait for water to go into it. It requires a lot of engineering on those projects and to figure out how to do it in the most appropriate way.
I think one of the biggest things that we've learned over the past 10 years is the amount of time it takes.
That's what the city does. It gives you water, takes away the wastewater, and we're dealing with our stormwater. So I think we're poised for good development in the future.
But I think it's really important for people to find a way to get involved, whether going to a neighborhood meeting or attending a council meeting or volunteering to serve on a board or a commission. If you don't, city government loses its way.
We're sort of the bridge between the people who are trying to do their jobs and the citizens who would like to understand what's happening.
Government is responsive, and they're there to help residents with whatever the problem might be. I think there's a lot of good things happening in the city that if you're paying attention, you should be pleased about what's happening in the city.
Well, as was indicated in the video, the boards and commissions, as well as input from the public, played a huge role in the progress of our infrastructure initiative. But we have more work to do, of course. Upcoming projects include New York Avenue, which is a comprehensive street project, meaning that we're not only working on the roadway, but everything underneath. Parkway Avenue is also a comprehensive project. Design work in the North Industrial Park is taking place, and this is associated with the expansion of the Bemis healthcare packaging effort that they're undertaking. And stormwater projects. We'll finish the Armory Detention Basin this year. The 9th and Washburn Detention Basin should be also completed in late summer, early fall. North Main Street area detention basin and the Libby Nicolay watershed is planned for 2016. And we continue to work on significant storm sewer updates as part of our annual street reconstruction projects. And finally, and I saw an old city employee here, I shouldn't say old, former city employee here earlier tonight, Ken Roble, and I know he's very happy about the new field operations facility that we're working on. So if you'd like more information on these projects and many others, you can talk to Dave Potek and his staff at the Public Works table. They'd be happy to share all the hard work that they've been working on with anyone. So our next strategic plan initiative is culture and recreation. And as City Manager Roloff often likes to say, when people talk about their community, they talk about the quality of life assets. Infrastructure is expected, something to build on, but those quality of life assets are what everyone looks for. And I think we can all agree that's what sets Oshkosh apart from other communities.
People in this community are very proud of their heritage and the role that their generations have taken in building a community.
Your heritage and where you come from and where you're going is always important, and you should never forget the past.
Oshkosh has a wealth of opportunities for people both as participants and also as consumers of both recreational opportunities and certainly cultural opportunities.
So a lot of our quality of life assets have gone through some master planning, which kind of lays out a nice road for staff, but as well as the city and the common councils in the future to look at what needs to be done for these quality of life aspects.
The master plan is wonderful. I think they've come up with some great ideas. I think it's innovative, and it's going to not just be good as an educational tool for the community, but it's going to be better for the animals.
That if you were coming in from the outside, not only are you going to look at housing opportunities, certainly recreational opportunities, but you are going to look for quality of life. You know, when you see the library and when you see the Grand Opera House and when you see the Public Museum, you recognize that this is a city that is committed to high quality of life.
There's a number of plans throughout the city that took a lot of time to develop, and the council and the citizens, I think, have really gotten behind those plans. So the Inclusive Playground is a large project that we are hopefully going to be constructing this spring at South Park. And then we've got a couple of restroom facilities that are either being reconstructed or are new construction.
What I think is going to happen is people are going to see the benefit of quality of life organizations and seeing them grow and making them strong. And I think from that, there's going to be other things that are going to be happening.
We're constantly improving, and as we improve, we become educated. The more we know, the better we are, and the more we can contribute to not only our own quality of life, but everybody that we know, and you know, be involved with people that are willing to be involved.
Community and businesses and citizens really need to come forward with their ideas and help the city provide some direction for the future.
One should not think that everything is simply handled by the city council, because it's not. You know, the boards and commissions do a lot of the work of the city. There's probably a committee or a commission for just about everybody's taste and interest.
Boards and commissions do a lot of the legwork for us to not only vote in favor of it because of their recommendation, but we know that citizens are involved in getting to that recommendation for us.
I think Oshkosh has a lot they can brag about, and I think that's a big thing. We can advertise more of what we have, bring more people in.
Well, I think this is one of the many things that we can be proud of, our cultural amenities and the initiative that people have to participate in not only preserving them but making them better for future generations. So you just saw a couple of the projects that are underway, and there are many more. Our next discussion about culture and recreation is a good segue to economic development, because we all know when people come to Oshkosh, industry will follow. Let's take a look at the past, present, and future for the next facet of our plan, economic development.
When I came, we had two industrial parks. We had the North Industrial Park and the South Industrial Park. They were quite small at that time. We expanded those industrial parks, and the City Council was really good in allowing us to purchase and start the Southwest Industrial Park. And then we started the Northwest Industrial Park.
We have a very strong manufacturing base, and that's not a bad thing because we have a lot of infrastructure that supports that, fantastic supply chain, skilled labor force, but we also have new industries that are coming up in Oshkosh as well.
Really, economic development is not just getting new factories or new industries or new businesses in town. It really is improving the overall community.
It's terribly important that the community work together and understand that it is not about one person or one entity that makes economic development in the community successful.
We've got public folks, we've got private not-for-profit folks, we've got private for-profit folks, both small businesses and large businesses in a variety of industries. So we've really brought, I think, the right people to the table to make economic development and Go EDC successful.
The board has developed a strategic plan, and there's 5 key goals in that strategic plan. And one of them is to visit 150 businesses every year.
And we've been impressed by how well the private sector has really stepped up to make this truly a public-private partnership, because without the private sector, this never would have happened.
Really, city government can make things happen so much, and that's why it's so important to continue to have a strong economic development component in city government.
I think that the challenge for us is that we need to retain and expand high-paying jobs, which is difficult because every community, every state is trying to do the same thing.
It's just a matter of putting your nose to the grindstone and getting stuff done.
So I think we've got really good momentum. People can kind of see the vision for redevelopment, for new growth and development.
We're in a position where we're not only more competitive than some of the surrounding communities in Northeast Wisconsin, but I think we're in a position to be an elite community for attracting and retaining businesses in the Midwest.
Well, certainly economic development is very exciting. There's a lot of energy in Oshkosh in regard to all the initiatives that are taking place. We have our aviation business park underway, which has been a great partnership with Winnebago County. We're fortunate to have partners like Winnebago County that are willing to step out and take a chance to improve the quality of life for all the citizens in this area. And in regard to the Greater Economic Development Corporation, Go EDC, they recently launched their brand and introduced their new CEO. His name is Jason White, and you'll have an opportunity to meet him and learn more about him as he becomes part of the community. He'll begin his new assignments in April, and he plans on meeting with businesses, and he also plans on fulfilling the goals that the Go EDC board has established for him and their organization. One more thing about Go EDC, they have also established a $2.4 million revolving loan fund, and they're in the process of awarding their first loan as we speak. So it's very exciting. I know Erin Sutton is here tonight, and she is their communications manager, and she's in the back of the room. Please stop by and talk to her about everything that's going on with Go EDC, and also with our community development staff. Alan Davis, Darren Burrich, and all the folks that are involved in planning, they'd be happy to talk to you as well. So, as we go through these elements of our strategic plan, you can see that they really are all interconnected. Economic development and neighborhoods are no exception. We've been making a lot of progress in recent years, but who better to tell us the story about our next strategic plan initiative than those people who are most active in our neighborhoods?
Relocating the railroads was a big thing. When I came here in Oshkosh in 1976, I think we had something like 120 street railroad crossings. That had a great impact, I think, on our neighborhoods, was to get rid of the the railroads that were kind of a blighting influence on those neighborhoods.
There's a big change, and it's happened, incrementally over the years. So we're trying to build all these bases for coming back to Oshkosh. What's important for our neighborhoods?
When the Common Council first identified strengthening neighborhoods as a priority, we only had 1 or 2 neighborhood associations that were within the community. So now we have 9 after a few short years, and the momentum has been building, and more residents are getting involved with playing an active role in their neighborhood.
We see a lot more people that are comfortable just saying, hey, so-and-so, I know who you are, I've seen you around, and you helped me with this before, can you help me out with this now? And so we're seeing a lot more positive reaction from citizens as the more interaction takes place.
Middle Village is a great example. All the work that they've done. Millers Bay is always ready to go, and now the partnership with the Oshkosh Area School District to fix up our schools, and oh, come on, so many good things.
Ultimately, our goal is to have every inch of Oshkosh be represented by a neighborhood association, a group of residents that are actively working to shape the neighborhood that they want to see. And ultimately, by working together, those ideas and activities become a reality.
If we can feel safe and secure in our neighborhoods alone, imagine what that would feel like if the entire city felt that way.
People become involved when it's personal. And so you try to make people realize how this affects them. And then they buy in.
A lot of projects were successful because they were initiated by the neighborhood associations.
We all have generally the same goal. We want a fun environment, we want a friendly neighborhood, and safe. And we all might have our own ideas of how to get to that, but we ultimately all have the same goal.
You want to make sure that the decisions you're making on a daily basis are beneficial to the greater good. And you don't know what that is unless you hear from the residents of your city.
It's just the joy and satisfaction of getting to know your neighbors, feeling that you're living in a much safer neighborhood, and helping one another. I mean, you're all part of a community.
It's taken a little while to get some footing, but I think now you gain some momentum, and so there has been such good things happening that's just going to continue to build, so that it's exciting.
What great involvement. That's just phenomenal. Involvement, however, is more than just participation on boards and commissions. Getting involved in your neighborhood is also an excellent way to engage yourself in our community. As we all know, strong neighborhoods make strong communities. The project identified in the video is the Emmeline Cook project. The project is slated to break ground this summer after school is finished for the year. The Millers Bay and North Shore neighborhoods have raised over $30,000, not including the $40,000 the city and school district have both provided, for a total of $80,000 to be directed toward this project. And I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our partnership with the Oshkosh Area School District. That has been an emphasis that our City Council has made clear to all of us, and we're very happy and to work with them, and it's just very easy to work with a partner that wants the best for Oshkosh, and the school district certainly does. So we're fortunate to have them as a partner in this endeavor as well. It's because of the support and dedication of Oshkosh residents like this, and training and framework provided by NeighborWorks, that projects of this magnitude are being completed. One of the elements we heard a lot about in the video was safety. The City of Oshkosh's new command and community outreach vehicle has also helped to create a sense of community and safety in our neighborhoods. Please check it out if you see it in your neighborhood. And finally, if your neighborhood doesn't have an association and you'd like to consider forming one, please see Liz or Alexa. I know they're in the back at the community development table, and they'd be happy to help you. So before we get to the end, tonight we've taken a look at 5 important initiatives from our strategic plan. Well, this plan could not have been developed without the hard work put in by our council members, our staff, volunteers, and members of our community. We've had the people begin to tell the story tonight, so let's let them finish it.
we all have an opportunity to give things back, and I don't think we all take that opportunity. So it's a great, I think it's a great time to get involved. It's a great time to be with people, and especially if you have an interest in the city of Oshkosh.
You know, the thing is anything worth doing in life, you have to have a passion for. And find your passion, and there's lots of things you can find to be passionate about in Oshkosh.
If we have a choice, then we can choose to be positive about what we have and what we can achieve. Or we can choose to be negative, and I choose to be positive.
It's encouraging, you know, the type of relationship you're able to build with somebody that, you know, they're the citizen and you're the police, and they're working with you to try to reach a common ground, and I think that's important when you look at what you're able to accomplish.
One of my favorite experiences is watching the relationships that have blossomed because of these neighborhood associations.
We know we've done what was in the best interest of the community as a whole and the neighborhoods, and you know, when people acknowledge that and, you know, say something to us, you know, that is really, you know, that gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling, so to speak, you know, and really, you know, kind of reassures that, yeah, you know, I did make a difference.
The way that the community has gotten involved in all the changes, you know, we certainly didn't do it on our own. It really was the community and a lot of our stakeholders taking present, and I think that's pretty awesome.
I think that's one of the greatest things about Oshkosh that I enjoy. I've seen a lot of change in my 84 years, and it has all been for the better as far as I'm concerned.
It's an exciting time. I fall short of calling it a golden age for Oshkosh, but I'd like to look back and think that maybe now is a special time in Oshkosh's history.
I have to say it, I love that clip, and I love the passion. I hope you could feel it coming through from the people that spoke on the video. You do have to have a passion. You all do, as evidenced by your presence here tonight. But really, our story's not finished. And City Manager Roloff wanted me to challenge you tonight to continue to write it. With that thought in mind, if you're not involved, please get involved. If you are involved, please stay involved. If you want to carry on the good work that has already been done, if you want to carry on those initiatives that you've seen tonight, please find or bring that person who could be your successor to next year's State of the City. But most importantly, encourage them to become engaged. Because as I stated at the outset of tonight's presentation, everyone's contribution makes a difference in our community. Thank you. On behalf of City Manager Roloff, thank you all very much for coming. At this time, I'd like to turn the program back over to Mayor Tower to honor people who have been involved with our boards and commissions.
You know, and express my appreciation to John. John didn't know that he was going to be up here till tonight, till about the middle of the day today. I'm not sure what time it was, but I think it was about noon time. So, indeed, we do have great bench strength here in the city of Oshkosh. Absolutely love these videos. I think they do a great job of telling the story of where we are, what's going on now, and some of the places we're going. Also love them because they remind us a little bit of our history. We got to see Dick Wolank, and we got to see Bill Free, a couple of past city managers who laid a foundation off which we operate today. It's great to see them still involved in things. Also great to see the city staff members who make some things happen on the video. Particularly great to see so many of our individuals who serve on boards and commissions involved in this video, because they do make things happening. So now, that's a good segue into the next part of the program, which is our Citizen Service Awards. So what we want to do now is recognize some citizens who have served on our boards and commissions and who have achieved significant milestones this year with respect to their service. While we're only spotlighting 23 people tonight, we'd like to thank all the citizens who serve on our 25 boards and commissions. Whether you've dedicated your time for 1 year, 2 years, 20 years, 30 years, what you do is truly appreciated. It makes the lives of the council members, all of us, a whole lot easier. Without the various boards and commissions, we could not do our job. So again, we thank those people who serve on our boards and commissions. Okay, what I want to do now is start with the boards and commission members who have achieved 5 years of service. And when I read names, I'm going to ask the honorees to come up to the front of the room, and we'll kind of do our applause after groups are introduced. And I'm going to ask Councilmember Deb Allison Osby to come up and hand out the awards to people once they get up here. So I'm going to start reading off the names now, so please start coming forward. Megan Lights, Housing Authority. Tom Allen, Board of Review. John Hintz, Donna Laurie. Bob Vigert, the Planning Commission. Bob Krasneski, Board of Appeals. Alex Hummel. I doubt that Alex is here, as we know he's moved down to a position in Madison, so it's probably tough for him to come up here, but he served this 5 years on the library board. Diana Drew, Museum Board. Clark Seibel, Police and Fire Commission. Lurton Blassingame, Kathy Glander, Alexandra Kleckel, Committee on Aging. Okay, now let's give these folks a round of applause for completing their 5 years of service. Now I'd like to honor those members of boards and commissions who have achieved 10 years of service. So first of all, Dan Carpenter and Dennis Penny, Board of Appeals. Kathy Birmingham, Library Board. Richard Rago, Museum Board. Claude Benedict, Committee on Aging. Megan Lang, Business Improvement District Board. Now that we have them all up here, if we could give them a round of applause. Okay, the next set of awards, we'll wait till all these people are up here, and then we'll give them a round of applause. We have one 15-year milestone tonight, Beth Osowski from the Board of Review. We have one 25-year milestone, Diane Hoffman from the Transit Advisory Board. We have two 30-year milestones tonight, Dave Borsick from the Planning Commission, Marilyn Rogie from the Grand Opera House Board. Finally, we have one 35-year milestone to honor tonight, Tom Nesbitt from the Board of Review. So we could give them a round of applause. Okay, our boards and commissions are always looking for more members from the community to get involved and share time. If anyone here in attendance, or if you're watching at home at such time as this is replayed at home on Channel 10, or if you happen to be watching online and you're interested in joining a board or commission, you can go up to the city manager's office and get an application, or you can just log on to the city's website, www.ci.oshkosh.wi.us, and apply. Okay, now what I'd like to do is introduce City Council members Steve Cummings and Caroline Pansky to honor some exciting things that are going on and accomplishments in our Oshkosh neighborhoods.
Thank you, Mayor Tower. We'd like to take a brief moment to recognize a few neighborhood associations tonight. Neighborhood associations have taken root in Oshkosh as people begin to realize the importance of knowing and working with their neighbors. They foster a spirit of community by connecting neighbors to collaborate in developing the neighborhood that they call home. I'm pleased to present certificates of recognition to the Marina District Neighborhood Association, Woodland Park Association, and Menominee South Neighborhood Association. Your work with the city and NeighborWorks Badgerland toward creating healthy neighborhoods of choice in our community is invaluable. We look forward to a future of continued cooperation and success.
The NeighborWorks Badgerland Resident Leadership Award recognizes outstanding contributions by dedicated community leaders. Awardees have invested their time and talent to create healthy neighborhoods of choice in Oshkosh and bring about positive change in their neighborhoods and the Oshkosh community. Kathy Webb has been a champion of her neighborhood for many years. She was instrumental in organizing the River East Neighborhood Association and has continued to exemplify what it means to be a good neighbor. One example of her character is when she rallied her neighbors to help a tenant whose pipes had burst to get water to their apartment and find an affordable plumber to fix the problem. When asked why she takes action and why she helps her neighbors in need when it is not required of her, Kathy simply stated, "Because we're neighbors, and that's what we do." Tonight, we are pleased to honor Kathy Webb in the first ever NeighborWorks Leadership Award.
And now I'm pleased to introduce Deputy Mayor Deb Allison Osby and Councilmember Steve Herman, who will be presenting our first Community Partnership Award for the evening.
The Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center began in 1986, and their purpose is to help support the center through fundraising, promoting sponsorship, volunteering, and increasing support. To say that they have had success in their projects would be an understatement. They have provided strong financial support for the construction of the South Senior Center building and the purchase and partial renovation of the North building. In the last year, they have provided $58,900 in financial support with a 10-year total of approximately $340,000 towards the Oshkosh Senior Center operating budget. They have also established and continue to grow an endowment with the Oshkosh Area Community Foundation.
The Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center are a strong volunteer component for fundraising efforts and popular events, especially the Fall Family Fun Fest, a wonderful event held on Grandparents' Day for the whole family. Tours are second to none across the state in terms of how many the Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center do and their support of the center. They have enhanced the work of engaging community sponsors and partners supporting the Oshkosh Senior Center, and encourage outreach activities as the Center Chorus and Wisconsin Warmers. They assist the Oshkosh Senior Center in so many ways more than we have time to cover. And that is why we are honoring them tonight with the Community Partnership Award. Accepting the award on behalf of the Friends of the Oshkosh Senior Center is Vice President Anne Marie Kosick.
Thank the city on behalf of all the current friends and the friends all those years ago that started this organization. We are so pleased to continually help have fun events and raise funds so we can continue to support what is truly an unknown gem in our fair city. Providing opportunities for our seniors who actually start at age 50 and up. And I do want to take this opportunity to say that no one's ever too young to be a friend. Our friends volunteer, they give financial support, and acknowledge this as a great place to also retire in. So any of you out there who aren't a friend yet, please don't hesitate. We do have a display over here, and we'd be happy to bring you into the fold. Thank you.
Okay, now I'd like to introduce two other city council members, Tom Peck and Sean Fitzgerald, who will be presenting our second Community Partnership Award. So.
The young people in Oshkosh are the leaders of tomorrow, and the Communities program at Oshkosh North shows us that we can be confident in our future leaders. Oshkosh North High School students have taken their education into their own hands by getting out into the city and learning lessons firsthand from members of the Oshkosh community. They have been a great partner to the city in many ways, have contributed to multiple city projects, and have created a strong and positive relationship with the city and community organizations. They were very busy this past year working on multiple projects within the city, not only learning real-life lessons outside of the classroom, but also helping others along the way.
Communities at Oshkosh North High School played a role in the annual Oshkosh Fire Department's Food and Toy Drive, were involved in neighborhood development planning and implementation, and worked with several city departments as volunteers and interns. One of their most noteworthy projects is the Senior Connects program, in collaboration with the Women's Fund of the Oshkosh Area Community Foundation, in which students visit the Oshkosh Senior Center to teach seniors how to use technology. Senior Connects, which aims to end isolation in seniors as well as build relationships between generations, has taken off in Oshkosh, and both the students and seniors have benefited from the project. These projects are just a few examples of what Communities at Oshkosh North has done in Oshkosh, and for that, we are pleased to present them with the Community Partnership Award. Accepting the award on behalf of Communities in Oshkosh is Oshkosh North High School teacher Brad Weber.
On behalf of the students, staff, and administration at Oshkosh North, we'd like to thank you for this award. 3.5 years ago, a few of us got together thinking there might be a different way to do education. And we had an idea. Engage students in their education. Have them take what they're learning and apply it to real-world problems. Have them apply it to their community. This award here helps to prove the power of what happens when you have students learning with and within the community. Thank you.
Okay, were there some students here and other staff members involved in the project? If you'd stand up so we could give you a round of applause also. So we appreciate you coming tonight. So just a couple of things, a couple of thoughts I'd like to make mention of before I close out tonight's programs. One, I've had the privilege and the honor of serving on the Oshkosh Common Council now for 11 years, 7 members as a Common Council member, and 4 years as mayor. And there are two big changes I've seen over that period of time that I think are significant and relate to the state of the city as we see it today. The first is, I think there's been a change in general attitude within this community. As I recall back in the beginning when I got involved, there were a lot of positive things going on in the community, but there was an undercurrent of negativity at times as you talked to some people, as you read the newspaper. I think that has changed over time. I think the needle has moved. We could always make more progress, but now people are very positive about Oshkosh. Proud to live in Oshkosh, proud to work in Oshkosh, proud to play in Oshkosh. And I think that's important. The second change that I've noted is that people have begun to step forward in increasing numbers, and organizations have begun to more fully recognize that so much more can be accomplished when they work together than when they work separately within their silos. As a result, a number of things have happened. Remember, one of the first things was the leach, when the city and private individuals came together, came up with $6.5 million to come up with the leach, the development of that park. A number of other things have happened, most recently. Go EDC, in which private sector has joined with public sector organizations. And I think are going to create some great things. I have to believe when you have a positive attitude, and we're on the positive side of that, and people are working together, that the state of the city is excellent. So I'm pleased with the state of the city as it exists, and I think there are some great things going on, and we have a great future. With that, I want to close out tonight's program. I want to thank each of you for attending tonight. I want to remind you that immediately following the program, we still have the exhibits all around the room, and I hope you'll take advantage of the opportunity to go over and talk to some of our city employees, our city workers, and find out what it is that they're working on. These are the people that work on things on a daily basis, make your lives better on a daily basis. So see what they're working on, see what they have planned for the future. Also tonight, in closing, I want to thank a number of people. I want to thank all those who were involved in the video. There were a lot of people involved, all those who provided comments that found their way into the videos. I want to thank OCMS for all the technical aspects of putting this together for the program tonight. Again, you people for coming out here tonight. Again, John Fitzpatrick for stepping up tonight and helping us out. And finally, the Oshkosh Convention Center. So if we can have a hand for all these people who made tonight's program, I would appreciate it. So here's to great things happening in 2015 and beyond. I wish you all a great evening. Have fun. Visit the exhibits. Thanks again.